loud and clear, we need to look at operations. So how do fintechs start their OpEx journey? Again, I would like to highlight that sometimes when people talk about these things, most fintechs think, fafa things, please, I'm looking for the next influencer to sign up, so that my volumes, will start hitting the roof, or I'm looking for how to bid, to be the next sponsor of some reality program, so that I'll get all those transactions, all those signups, all those downloads on the app. How do they start their OpEx journey?
Okay. So like most management disciplines, there is a framework and there are levels. And I will try not to be too technical, but what you need to know is that there are different levels to your operational excellence maturity. My recommendation is start from level 1. A lot of companies are in level 1, and there is a lot of work to do in level 1. What exactly is level 1? Level 1 is 2 things. You're creating a solid foundation for the rest of the levels. So you agree with me that even if you think you have elements of level 3 and your level 1 is not working, that level 3 is shaky, right? Because it can't sustain. And the principles of level 1 is standardization and quality management. Just those 2 things. Now, it might sound simple, but it would vary from company to company. And what is standardization? Is exactly what it means, right? You want to be able to reproduce your work, even if Sikemi is on leave. And I know a lot of us will have experienced the scenario whereby Sikemi is going on leave, if he's going on leave, and we start to mildly panic. We don't exactly confess it, but we know that if we had our way, we would have said, can you guys move your leave to like next week or like upper week? And you keep, because your operations revolves around a human being, and the steps to do the work is in their head. Most organizations are like that. It will shock you, right? So you need to focus on standardization. And standardization is saying, how do we reproduce this work consistently, even when it's Sikemi doing it, is Ify doing it, and there are different ways to standardize. There is documentation, there is automation. Automation is my personal favorite, because while documentation is good for reference, bringing documentation into everyday life is unrealistic, right? So, but when you automate the standard into a system, then you can go on leave and stay on leave. Let me give you an example. You don't want somebody to press a reverse to press the reverse button unless some certain conditions are fulfilled. Don't expect people to keep those conditions in their head and always have a good day. Bake those criteria into the system such that the reverse button never shows up unless those criteria are met. All of a sudden, all your reversals are pure. But today, what we find is that we tell people, check this, so check that something is not working, check that something is not working, and then the person wakes up on the wrong side of the bed that day and forgets. It is a responsibility of the system to ensure that I don't make mistakes.
Interesting.
So standardization, quality management, you can't go wrong with those 2.
I would have to ask you a question at this point, right? Because it looks like you're referring to a system where, and when I mean a system, I mean an ecosystem where things don't change often, and so we can do this documentation and automation.
Yeah.
Especially in our market in Nigeria, things change on a regular. If payment methods are not coming out, new payment methods are not coming out, and so you need to do integrations, and most of those payment methods have different ways of settling them, of reversing them, and all that. If it's not that, is that the regulator has brought in something that, will kink what you have automated. So it's all over the place, right? So that's one bucket. The second bucket is that you already have existing things you want to push out. So you don't have engineering resources and this is the way a normal fintech will think. We want to be able to announce, that product A is live, feature B is live, this other one is live, and you want us to use half of our resources to be doing automation. Hello, is everything all right? Right. And then so you have all that. Okay, this is the third one. I almost forgot. This is the third one. Then even the resources that we have, half of them have whispered to HR that they will jabber by January. So you're dealing with these three things. It's just very easy to say, hello, please use Excel and sort this out. This automation can wait. It is a reality. It's a normal way of thinking, in fintech. And people that think like that are not, something's not wrong with them. It's not like they don't have the good of the business at heart. They are thinking, based on the problems that they see. Why would you advise them to do any differently?
Okay. So I heard your three scenarios, and I'm going to pose two questions back at you, right? Yes, I am, right? Because we are here to have candid conversations.
Awesome. Yeah.
So the first question or the first scenario is the chicken and the egg. Which comes first? We can sit down all day and argue about which one comes first. You're looking at automation as an afterthought and standardization as an afterthought. Meanwhile, if you had standardization and automation in place, everything you just described would literally be non-existent. Yes, the regulator comes up with new requirements, but you and I know sometimes those things are not as they do give us time. Right? They do give us time to implement those things. It's not a case of, we are implementing, the regulation comes out today, you have to implement tomorrow. No. They do give us time to implement it. So it means that by default, the company itself or the business itself doesn't have an operational excellence mindset. They have a let's do it quickly, let's get it out mindset. We'll worry about the errors later. OpEx is not for everybody. Right? So if you are still going to have that mindset of either blaming somebody, you want to be more agile, though I feel agile spin as a phrase, because when agile people created the word agile, they didn't create it the way we are using it. We bastardized that word, and it's just like a catch-all for not doing things properly. So to go back to your question, I don't see standardization and automation as an afterthought. I see it as the prerequisite for you to actually respond to regulators faster, for you to actually have people go immigrate from the country, and there is no issue. Why is there no issue? Because the thing is not in their head. You've standardized it and you've put it on a system. There is a bank today that after this recent bout of people leaving, the country en masse, we've been experiencing a lot of downtimes with a couple of banks and fintechs, right? Because the human beings that have been carrying the transactions are no longer there, right? But there's this particular bank I've been observing since the beginning of this year. If you haven't seen any downtime.
Really? Please,
I'm serious.
I want you to know them.
So standardization, quality management via automation, via putting things in place is not a nice to have. You either want to be a baby fintech for life, or you want to step up your game and put your systems in a place where you can actually scale.